You ever notice how people in movies always seem to know exactly who the villain is? In real life, the worst ones look like family men, shaking hands, smiling for the cameras, their evil tucked behind gold cufflinks, and the perfect family photo on the mantle. I should know. I spent most of my childhood in the shadow of a man like Theta Guy, so obsessed with control, he thought he could erase his problems like chalk off a board, even if that problem was his own kid. Yeah, that happened. The day everything changed, the city's biggest betting arena was alive with noise sunlight bouncing off metal railings, perfume and leather everywhere, and folks in designer shades watching million-dollar horses like they were ancient gladiators. I remember the air was thick, like the whole building was holding its breath. My dad, Edward Sterling, stood above them all in the VIP box, eyes narrow, jaw working as he scanned the crowd. If money had a face, it'd look like his cold, sharp, impossible to read. I was just a kid, maybe 7, quiet, head full of swirling colors, always fiddling with little ribbons or running patterns in my mind to keep calm. Most folks called me special, but not in a way that made me feel good about it. My mother would say I just saw things differently. Dad hated that I couldn't stand that I noticed things he tried to keep hidden. Sometimes I'd blur out stuff like how the man in the hat down by the stables looked scared when he handed off a shiny object, or how my favorite horse, Wild Thunder, didn't move right after certain people fed him. You know what I mean? Kids notice things adults don't want them to see. One afternoon, I caught him talking low into the phone, muttering about numbers, races, and people he shouldn't trust. When he realized I was there, he slammed the phone down so hard I jumped. He tried to smooth it over, told me it was just business the way adults do, but I remembered every number, every name, every weird word he used. Couldn't help it. My mind just worked that way. Turns out, that would save my life. What I didn't get then was just how scared he was of me. Not because I was dangerous, but because I was too honest for his world built on lies and bets. He started watching me, tightening his grip, making sure our housekeeper, Carmen, never left me alone for long. Carmen, God. She's the kind of person you only appreciate when you're older. 17 years she took care of that family, saw more than anyone, and still managed to be kind. One morning, she found me shaking, more than usual. I asked if it was bad to hurt animals. She said, of course, but I could see the worry in her eyes. Later, I asked my mom, and she looked at me like she wanted to cry. I told her about the numbers, the money, and how Daddy said Wild Thunder would be sleepy. My mom just hugged me, and for the first time, I realized she was scared of him too. But here's the twist, because life is never simple. Carmen started piecing it together. The late-night fires in the backyard, the strangers in suits, the documents she accidentally saw. She and my mom sat me down, and for the first time, I told them everything, every number, every name, every detail. They didn't treat me like a kid. They treated me like the key to the whole puzzle. But Dad was always one step ahead. He noticed the way we whispered, the way I avoided him. That's when his plans turned vicious. He made a call when I heard through the vent, heart hammering in my chest. He wanted his most dangerous horse, Wild Fury, doped and wild for the Spring Classic, set loose when I was nearby. Also, my problem would go away for good, and it would look like an accident. Yeah, he was that cold. That night, I didn't sleep. I waited for morning, then told Mom and Carmen what I'd heard. We knew we couldn't go to the local cops. Dad owned half of them. But Carmen remembered a dinner guest, a prosecutor, Henry Morris, who'd once asked too many questions about Dad's business. My mom reached out, and suddenly, everything sped up. We met Morris in a stuffy government office, me with my ribbons, Mom holding my hand so tight it hurt. I told him everything, and he listened, really listened. No one had ever done that before. Turns out, my memory was enough to open an entire investigation. They set up a sting for the Spring Classic, federal agents hidden among the crowd, every move watched. The day of the Classic, Dad put me in a red dress so I'd be easy to spot. He thought he was clever. My heart was pounding, but as I stood by the railing, I locked eyes with Wild Fury. Even through the noise and drugs, he recognized me. I started singing just a soft lullaby Carmen had taught me, and somehow, the horse calmed, just a little. Dad started panicking, waving his handkerchief like a man possessed, signaling his goon to act. But then, everything happened at once. Federal agents moved. Dad yelled. Jerry the handler lunged from up, but they tackled him before he got close. Morris shouted, "Edward Sterling, you're under arrest." And for the first time, my father looked small, just another crook in a suit. He screamed that I was just an autistic child, as if that meant no one would believe me. But the world had changed. Afterwards, it was like dominoes falling. The whole betting ring went down: judges, vets, handlers, even politicians. My mother testified. Carmen was hailed as a hero, and I was, well, not a problem anymore. I was the witness no one could question. The judge said my father had betrayed the only thing that mattered: his own family. In the end, my father went away for good. His fortune was split between animal welfare and helping kids like me. The estate turned into a therapy center, a place where horses and kids could heal together. I still walk those fields every day, helping other children find their voice, letting them see that being different is its own kind of power. Sometimes I get letters from Dad in prison. He says he's sorry, but you know what? I don't carry anger anymore. I found something better: people who love me for who I am, horses that trust me, and a future where the truth matters. So let me ask you, if you saw something wrong, would you speak up, even if it cost you everything? Would you risk everything for the truth? Because sometimes that's the only way anything ever changes. Let me know what you think. Was I right to tell? What would you have done? Is justice ever really simple, or is it always this messy? Share your thoughts below, because the world doesn't get better if we all stay silent.